and I am a Hispanic. The majority of my family living in Mexico. I visit my family almost every other year, and I usually stay over there for vacations during the summer and winter. Now, I wanted to ask y'all, how many of y'all have family in Mexico or in any other country that you go to or you talk to often?
I do.
You do?
I do.
So, I mean, in a small town like Pecos, there's a lot of people who have connections to Mexico. And would it hurt if you couldn't see them ever again?
Yep, it would.
This is exactly what Donald Trump wants to do. He wants to build a wall and seal us off from Mexico. Because of his recent plans, crossing over to the border has become increasingly difficult, and I don't think his supporters would want to know what it feels like to not be able to see your family ever again because of this wall. Would you rather possibly drain the economy and separate families to prevent a slimmer of crime, or would you let these families live in peace and just possibly increase economic growth? I fear for the day that Trump's wall is finally put up and I won't be able to visit the rest of my family. My family means so much to me, and not being able to see them, you know, whenever he announced the wall, it kind of hurt me. With Trump's wall, it would cause massive damage to the economy, to the environment, and would be wrongful morally. Trump's wall would show a terrible period in America's history. According to Bowie, Trump's wall of shame, January 25th, 2019, build the wall is a racist chant, much like the way they invoked the president's name. And it's also why, despite the pain and distress of the extended government shutdown, Democrats are right to resist any deal with the White House that includes funding for its construction. Together with its $5.7 billion budget for the wall, it's less a compromise than a near capitulation to the president's vision for immigration policy, a vision he could not get through Congress when he had Republicans in both houses of Congress. A border wall would just not work. Erecting a barrier between the U.S. and America would resolve almost nothing. It would increase tensions between both countries and possibly cause a war. Agreeing to this deal or any other straightforward bill to end the shutdown would only validate the president's extortion tactics. Not only would the wall show a terrible period in America's history, but it will also make Americans seem like terrible people with no morals and no morals and terrible norms. According to Smith against walls, how President Trump's walling initiatives undermine American exceptionalism in the spring of 2017, Trump's motto, build a wall, contradict Ronald Reagan's speech about the Berlin Wall. The construction of the wall would be a monstrous task, and since the wall is planned to go over mountains, lakes, rivers, streams, almost any kind of landform you can imagine. The wall would be extremely expensive and a monstrous task. Daily going over these landforms would just represent us as terrible people who don't care for the environment or the consequences that come from just building a wall. The government shutdown cost $6 billion because of the wall. Trump trying to get his budget for the wall at $6 billion. And the DHS had estimated that the wall would accurately cost more than $21 billion. The terrible impact of the wall doesn't stop there. According to Owens, Trump's border wall pledge threatens delicate desert ecosystems. 2016, the wall would also greatly damage the environment. A border wall would worsen human disruption in the Mexico and U.S. border area. The border wall would also hurt the ecosystem on a more fundamental level. Water streams and waterways would be blocked because of this wall and possibly destroy the ecosystem. In addition, the wall built already by President Bush's office already causes animal stress because there's barriers that they can't cross simply because it's not natural. Bighorn sheep are observed to cross the border where there isn't already a steel fence, and just putting a concrete wall, it would cause them to have to migrate to all other places. And this is just one example of animals that could suffer because of this wall. For the U.S. to allow the construction of Trump's wall would be a terrible thing to do. No matter what anyone says, I will always think that Trump's wall would cause major damage to the environment, the economy, and be wrongful morally. There is no one in the world who could convince me that separating families, declaring a national emergency to fund your wall when it could be used for more important situations such as natural disasters and possibly destroying habitats that have existed for hundreds of years. And I don't think this would ever help anyone's case to build a wall, even if it was to prevent a slimmer of crime. And that's my speech.